right, let's talk about what's ahead for markets, not just in the interest rate outlook, but for IPOs and the status of animal spirits as well. Karen Snow joins us, Global Head of Listings at NASDAQ. Karen, thanks for being here this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, you guys have a really cool index, a tool that you guys have launched in the last week, the NASDAQ IPO Pulse. Tell me about it.
Well, it's a question that we often get, where is the IPO market going? And you referenced animal spirits, so that's something that we were trying to bring a much more quantitative approach to in answering the question. So, given that we're the leader in US IPOs on a global basis, and we have an index business and understand sort of approaching things from a quantitative perspective, we thought we were really in a unique position to offer something a little bit more scientific to the marketplace when we talk about what we can expect over the next 6 months or so.
Yeah, this is highly quantitative. This is not like a qualitative, oh, you're having conversations, how many companies have talked to you guys. This is like very market-based. Take me through the methodology.
Yeah, so we back-tested over 50 different factors over a 30-year period and came up with 6 leading indicators that enable us to look forward about 6 months. So that includes the change in rates, it includes the change in returns, valuations, volatility, investor sentiment, as well as some of our own proprietary data that we have on file as it relates to applications.
So there is a little connection into today's discussion on the Fed, because one of your inputs is year-over-year changes in the Fed funds rate. So I imagine this index would have gotten hit pretty hard throughout 2022 and would be bouncing back over the last 6 months.
Yeah, that's right. So we're watching rates very closely. We're watching the VIX very closely, which I think someone commented on a little bit earlier today. But there's no overreaction on a daily basis. We're looking at it on a more steady basis, and the change in rates over a period of time, which direction they're going in. And from the index perspective, it's really meant to be an aggregate high-level view of what the outlook might be, including all 6 indicators. So, we feel like looking forward, that really gives us a good view, stable view over a 6-month horizon.
Kind of looks like with the Pulse Index steadily rising here in the last month and a half, or rather the last year and a half, that we might be expecting IPO activity to pick up a tad.
Yeah, and we've seen that definitely here at NASDAQ anyway. We've had 13 IPOs so far this year, and we've issued about $2.5 billion in capital. So we are starting to see that recovery, and we're expecting the year to be a pretty strong one on a relative basis, certainly better than the last 2.
The idea is it should be a little bit of a leading indicator for IPO activity, because you guys have your own proprietary IPO data in here. But the fact that the index exists, I guess, would speak to the idea that market data can give you even more intel on maybe what's not already in front of you.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay. So this year, I guess, when we've got valuations climbing, rates climbing, is there a particular ranking of how important those things are? Like some of these, I feel like, are kind of self-evident, right? Lower rates, cheaper financing, that's good. What about the valuations component? Do companies generally like to come to the market when they can, get a higher valuation?
I would say so. But, obviously on the other side of that, investors have to have the right upside for them as well. And I think we're at a meeting point right now where companies recognize that they're probably at a good point to enter the market, and I think investors have the appetite now to look at transactions and value them in a way where they still feel like they're getting a bit of a discount and there's still upside for them. Okay.
All right. Fascinating stuff. Very helpful for us. A good one to add into our macro indicators. Thanks, Karen, for explaining it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
For sure. And congrats on the listing. Looks pretty cool. We're definitely going to be watching it. Karen Snow, Global Head of Listings at NASDAQ.